Disney characters have long been both admired and criticized for not being relatable. However, it seems that these Disney characters are more realistic and relatable than we thought. Here are 10 Disney characters with serious mental disorders. Elsa. Being born with the ability to produce and manipulate snow and ice, Elsa is so afraid of hurting her loved ones that she seemed to have developed agoraphobia, which is an anxiety disorder where you fear and avoid places or situations that might cause you to panic and make you feel trapped, helpless, or embarrassed. Remember the song Do You Want to Build a Snowman and how Elsa isolates herself from her sister and the rest of her family? Paranoia is also prominent as Elsa eventually tries to make her own castle for the purposes of keeping herself safe from the rest of the world. Winnie the Pooh. For anyone who has watched Winnie the Pooh while growing up probably knows that when Pooh is around Honey, he pretty much loses all control of himself and eats until his stitches split. While it may seem innocent, Pooh seems to suffer from the mental illness of binge eating disorder. Look at Pooh when he visited his friend Rabbit. He nearly ate him out of house and home and then got stuck trying to get out of the rabbit hole. Captain Hook. Captain Hook initially seems like the classic Disney villain who has a crocodile following him and tracking him down, all while ticking away from the clock he swallowed. Along with the clock, the crocodile also ate Hook's hand. Losing a limb is traumatic enough by itself, but then to have the animal stalking you in the hopes of eating the rest of you can send someone off the deep end. Captain Hook seems to be suffering from PTSD, which has resulted in his extreme anger issues and obsessive complex concerning the defeat of Peter Pan. Scar. Scar is a textbook example of a few mental disorders. He shows evidence of being a classic narcissist, as well as showing signs of being a sociopath, plus suffering from an antisocial personality disorder. He has no regard for others or their rights. He kills his brother Mufasa, tries to kill his nephew Simba, all for the purpose of ascending to the throne. The Evil Queen. The Evil Queen from the 1937 film Snow White and the Seven Dwarves is nearly a textbook example of narcissism personality disorder. She believes that she is the most beautiful and fairest of all the land, and constantly consults her magic mirror for its confirmation. When the day comes that Snow White is named the fairest in the land, the Evil Queen goes to extreme measures to end Snow White's life and can't even let the princess live in peace in the forest. Belle. Belle has had a rough childhood. She lost her mother when she was younger, and she lived her life with her father, who was already a bit eccentric. Due to her love of books, she was ostracized and called weird by the rest of her village. So when she was captured and forced to live with the Beast, it's no surprise that she would suffer from Stockholm syndrome, which resulted in her feeling trust and affection towards her captor. Some call it love, while others just call it crazy. Beast. Speaking of Belle, the Beast is also far from being mentally stable. The Beast is dealing with a lot of anger from his mistake of turning away shelter from an old woman, resulting in him being transformed from a handsome prince into a hideous beast. That alone is enough to emotionally scar anyone. Then he had to deal with the years of being alone with talking household items, which resulted in him going into a deep depression and losing all hope by the time Belle had arrived. The White Rabbit. Every time we saw the White Rabbit in Alice in Wonderland, he was rushing off to some important meeting while holding a pocket watch and singing a frantic song. The White Rabbit seems to suffer not only from anxiety, but also obsessive-compulsive disorder where everything has their place, and should things go out of place, chaos for the rabbit ensues. Eeyore. Anyone who knows Eeyore knows that he is the wet blanket of the group, and he isn't all sunshine and rainbows. Due to this, Eeyore has become the favorite character of many people who suffer from the same conditions as the stuffed donkey. Eeyore clearly has to deal with depression and a good dose of pessimism. In his mind, things don't go well, and they never would go well in the first place. The most beautiful part of Eeyore's story is that his friends love him anyway, and don't expect him to change for their sake. Ariel. Poor Ariel has a lot to deal with as a teenage mermaid who's in love with a human. Her curiosity of humans was constantly squashed by her father, which led to her constant urge to collect and steal items for her collection, making her a candidate as a sufferer from hoarding and kleptomania. On top of that, she feels like she has to change her body for Prince Eric, causing people to hypothesize that she also suffers from body dysmorphia. Alright folks, that's our video. Thank you so much for watching. While you're here, why don't you check out these other videos and let us know what you thought of this video in the comments down below. And please, don't forget to give us a like and a subscribe. Thanks!